Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 10 ways people are consuming cannabis, according to BDS Analytics. On the line with us is Dan Chemist, our CBD correspondent with Good CBD Products. So the number one way people are consuming cannabis is with flower. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Joints are the number one product sold. We can see that from analytic companies like Headset and BDS Analytics. Definitely pre-rolls are the number one way due to convenience. But to my surprise, the number one demographics buying these pre-rolls are women. I think it's white women that are 50 and older. But nonetheless, flower is definitely a matter of convenience.
Yeah, that amazes me. You know, this is the thing. After our studies with regards to pre-rolls, it's just surprising, I think, the schism between the quality of manufacturing that we see so often and the customer's perception of the quality, right? In that I've stopped. I don't buy pre-rolls very often anymore, Cron.
I haven't either, since a lot of the test results have come back moldy. I haven't, but sales are still pretty high. They're claiming that sales are 768 million. I'm not sure where they're coming up with that, but nonetheless, joints are the number one product sold. Vape cartridges are number two on the list. The category looks at vapes, vape accessories. So it's definitely also a matter of convenience, where more people are buying vape cartridges because it's discretionary. You can take that and inhale it in a lot of places that don't allow smoke. And so with that convenience and discreetness, definitely leading to the number two product for sales.
Yeah, you know, when we deal with a lot of our pals, let's face it, the vape pen, the vape cartridge, a very common and consistent way for people to consume. Personally, I don't go there. I'm more of an old school, old head, but you know, everybody's got their way, right?
So I probably should have read the article first because it goes into pre-rolls as the number three form of inhalation. Number three is pre-rolls. So apparently flower being number one is just that, is flower, which makes sense. I mean, a lot of people are smoking flower like yourselves, like you. I like pre-rolls. And so obviously with the infused pre-rolls, those are taking over more market share away from just kind of your standard. And we're starting to see more sizes like half a gram, a full gram, 3/4 gram. And then the Cannagars, we'll see if those pop up down the road. But, you know, obviously pre-rolls, we already talked about the convenience factor. Gummies, surprisingly, are number four because I'm not even sure what state gummies are allowed. So I think it's the chewies, but you can have like gummy bears, for example. But these products do sell really well in Seattle that have been able to circumnavigate the gummy law and still have like that Starburst or gummy style candy. They are very popular. Surprisingly, concentrates aren't higher on the list. The first one we see is live resin. So that's a favorite among aficionados, non-traditional way to consume. Live resin is a type of butane hash oil that's extracted from the fresh cannabis plant that's immediately frozen as soon as it's harvested. And so I like a live resin or live rosin in a vape pen. It tends to be a lot more, at least healthy or organic. If you just press it, it seems a lot better than a forced butane.
Yeah, you know, again, I like those cleaner forms. Like if we're going to go to a concentrate, I like things that haven't been hit with a hard solvent.
Agreed. Number six is a dropper. I'm not sure what they mean, so let's kind of read this. According to BDS Analytics, the top 10 ways people are consuming. Number six is with the dropper. So that popularity has been spiking for several years. They've been present as one of the most popular forms of cannabis consumption. So fill the dropper with a dose, squirt it in your mouth, and savor the flavors like topical fruits and berries. So I think what they're talking about is tincture, right? Is that what they mean by a dropper?
Yeah, tinctures and probably sublinguals.
Mm-hmm. Right. Definitely. It's about discreteness. It's about the concentrated effects. And it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So people that are afraid of those edibles because it takes so long to get into your system, this is definitely an easier way. It's how I consume my CBD, as a matter of fact. The 20-to-1 from Green Revolution called Revive is a great 20-to-1 CBD to THC ratio. And I take that by, quote, a dropper. It's more like a tincture or whatever.
That's how I consume my CBD as well, is basically under the tongue. I don't burn much CBD, but I love my CBD under the tongue.
Number 7 is disposable vapes. I have not seen very many of these in a long time. And as a matter of fact, the company that really started that whole discretionary, discreet kind of disposable vape pen has gone away in Seattle. They're not even selling any of these. And so I'm wondering if it's just a matter of pricing because pre-rolls are so inexpensive, but these disposable vape pens are, number 7 on the list. So maybe emerging markets are buying them. But I think if they look at the data in Seattle, you'll find a lot of people buy them initially, and then fewer and fewer people come back for more. And maybe that's because they clog, or it's just not the right effect, or maybe it's the pricing. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, quality assurance issues in that space is a real deal. And so, consistently manufacturing a high quality disposable device that isn't an egregious thing to put in a landfill, nigh on impossible, brother.
And number 8 on the list is wax. So it's another concentrate. So the name suggests wax resembles the texture of a traditional candle wax, has a lot of the lipids and fats from cannabis. So it's also named by the names of butter, batter, honeycomb, and crumble. And so that's obviously a really good way to dab. A lot of people like the wax. And Shatter is next on the list, number 9. So that's a stiff kind of glass-like concentrate. I do not like Shatter because I am frugal. I'm very frugal. And when you grab Shatter, it shatters and it goes everywhere and you lose a lot. So I don't even mess with Shatter. I'm far too frugal. But there's a lot of people who love it. And it's second most popular kind of concentrate in 2014 out of Colorado, and rising on the list. And first off, you got anything to say about wax and Shatter?
So, one of the things that's kind of fun with those is, personally, I use those for when it's time to really just relax, right? And that's where, some Shatter now and again, not all that often. Again, I'm frugal like you, Kron, but the fact is, let's face it, some of the people we know, they really do some fine work with regards to their concentration expertise there.
And surprisingly, number 10 on the list is chocolate bars. Chocolate's the number 1 way of eating weed back when adult use sales were first legal in Colorado during 2014, and then grabbed a 20% market share of the edibles market compared to 17% for gummies. But trends have changed dramatically, and still chocolate squeaks out the number 10 spot. So I'm pretty sure chocolate is the number 1 form of edibles in Washington state, and they're very popular on Fridays. In fact, between the hours of 3 and 5, half of all basket purchases are edibles, and 50% have a pre-roll. So if you're an edibles company and you're not selling, or your inventory is low on Friday between 3 and 5, that's a third of your entire sales for the month. That happens in those 2 hours 4 times a month.
I love that you've got your fingers on that data. That's pretty amazing.
And with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.